we calling this thing these days?
The Zythrox podcast, I think. I think that's what we went with.
The Zythrox podcast is lame. A better name.
Zodcast?
Ugh.
That's already a thing.
Yeah, the Zodiac Killer podcast. Yeah, fuck's sake. No disrespect to them, but disrespect to them.
Yeah, full on disrespect.
Already,
Motherfuckers.
That's what it is?
Yeah. Running out of material pretty quick with that, aren't you? Yeah. He was never caught.
Like 10 episodes.
High energy. Yeah. Get a monster in your Robbie.
Looking at, I literally drank 2 monsters there.
Okay,
Well,
a third
I don't
one.
know. I don't know if high energy is a good idea. I'm pretty sure the reason we got such funny things with the original versions was me being low energy because we were having to re-record.
Yeah, but high energy shouting and giving out about something's a different thing.
Yeah.
That was very Irish of me. Shout. Yes.
Shouting.
I'm
Shouting.
just stop talking.
Zythrox podcast.
That's so lame.
You could go back to Me Dollar if you want.
Hello and welcome to Insert Name Here.
Me Dollar.
Okay, I'm gonna get the intro out of the way. Hello and welcome to Insert Name Here.
The Flash. It's
Uh,
bad. And we.
Yeah.
You don't gotta comment on the movie in the intro.
Yes, we will.
No, it's an introduction to what it is. You don't have to introduce your thoughts.
I think that's the perfect intro. That's just brilliant.
What's our intro song gonna be?
Our song.
I mean, an intro song.
Nowhere
So,
Man
Motor.
by Observer. Well, I wonder what happened to that guy. I don't think he makes music anymore.
A lot of shite, that's why.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Retired, thankfully.
Yeah,
Do
did too much observing.
Observe. Observe.
Yeah, we should do like the really like I'm really nervous about recording this thing. Hello
Yeah.
and welcome to the Zythrox podcast. Today we'll be reviewing The Flash. It's a
Fucking
movie that came out
sucks.
in 2023, and let's get to it. And then we play like intro music, and it's like whatever. And then we come back, and we're like opening scene.
Shit.
Shit.
Shut
Just
up.
so bad.
For a second, you can't just sandbag everything.
Yes, we
You
can.
gotta format it in
Shit.
some way.
We are for a minute. We talk about a scene. We say shit. We talk
Yeah,
about a
but
scene.
like, okay, hang on,
we say
hang on.
shit.
Like, no, this is just like
Like if-
fucking word association then, because every single time I say this scene, you just go
Shit.
sure.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but then we elaborate after saying, like, it's not like we're just gonna leave it at shit and move on to
Shit.
the
Look,
next
we're
scene.
gonna say something.
We're gonna fucking
I don't
elaborate
trust
on
you
it.
not to.
I
As
will.
far as
I
I'm aware,
definitely
Robbie
will.
is just gonna go shy.
Shite.
He's just gonna shut up.
I will let Dylan do the elaborating, okay? You will elaborate. I will quantify.
Yeah.
Quantify.
Yeah, bro.
So you're gonna count what he's saying.
No.
What do you mean
I'll quantify if it's
quantify?
shit or not, bro. Shit.
Okay.
Shit or it's not shit, man.
Take me back to when
What the fuck is
never
the
watched
first
you.
scene? The thing is,
Hmm? It's when he's in that coffee shop with
my
the
notes,
fucking...
my notes for this movie. I need to get better for the next episode. I'll get better at actually writing what's happening, because
Yeah.
my notes for this are just so furious the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think my notes are good enough for capturing the vibe of watching this movie is truly like, you know. So
Hmm.
yeah, opening scene,
Glass
fucking
break.
no,
No, that's the Snyder
yeah,
cut.
that's the wrong movie, Robbie.
What?
You're thinking of Justice
Oh
League.
shit, bro.
That's the wrong
Okay,
movie.
that's a different. It's a cafe
Yeah,
scene,
that's
you know.
yeah, that's a different movie.
Yeah, it's he's like trying to get his sandwich. He's late for work.
Yeah,
His normal
late
lady's
for
not there.
superhero stuff. His normal lady's not there. Who fucking cares?
It's
And
not even. He's late for his actual job.
oh yeah,
It's-
whatever.
yeah,
I forgot. I actually forgot he works a fucking job.
yeah. He's like
I was sitting there. I was just thinking. I was like, yeah, you know, superhero stuff. He works in a morgue or something. Not a morgue.
It's
CSI.
CSI. Yeah, he's a CSI. I think. At least in this movie.
Lots of unfunny sandwich humor because
Yeah,
the guy
it's
making
just
it is
stoner
too
humor.
slow. See,
And then he fucking runs off into the
once again,
bathroom
yeah.
when he gets a call from Alfred.
Once again, like, yeah, that pretty much sums up my thoughts on this scene because so he sprints into the bathroom to change and answer a phone call. Why can't he just super quickly make his own sandwich without anyone noticing?
That's a good question.
Like, it cannot be that hard
Yeah.
for him to just, you know, sprint behind the counter, chuck a bunch of shit he wants onto a sandwich. I mean, is he that stupid and like picky?
Yes.
Like, it has to be like, you know, fucking. It
What was
needs,
Have you
it?
seen
A
Ezra Miller's head,
PB.
bro?
it needs this woman's you know, hair on it or something. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just, it has to have the touch of a lady on it or something. He's just that much of a creep.
Yeah,
Like,
Wait
it
a
makes
minute.
sen's.
Who's making? It's not even a chick making a sandwich.
No, that's why
supposed to
it's
be.
not his normal
That's
woman.
why he's
That's
throwing a
why
hissy
he's like
fit.
injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's throwing a hissy
That-
fit because it's not a chick making a sandwich. It's just some fucking dude who keeps like telling, like, you know, is telling random stories no one cares about.
Yeah.
Which is the rest of this movie. But go on.
Yeah. Some of the.
Podcast, bro.
I hate that he has the fucking calorie counter on in that scene because it never comes back. So I even bother
Yeah.
acknowledging it. Like
Yeah, it was weird. It
It does.
only
It does.
it comes back in the next scene and then never
Yeah.
again.
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. It's like they literally introduced it for a joke.
And then over the next 3 or 4 days, where he has nothing to fucking eat, it's just never acknowledged again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I mean, considering because the whole problem at the start was that obviously, like, you know, not only him existing takes up calories, but him running super fast takes up lots of calories.
Yeah.
But then when he runs super duper duper fast later on, there's no sign of a snack in sight.
Literally faster than the
Yeah.
speed of light.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a single snack.
not a Snickers, nothing.
Yeah. It's just
Literally.
stupid to acknowledge it if they're not going to do anything with it.
And I mean, you know, not that I expected the Flash to be the most economically written thing of all time, which every scene is purposeful and good and all. But I mean, expected better than this.
Yeah. I expected anything better
Yeah.
than this. This is like worst possible scenario.
Anyway, yeah,
No.
I was
The
gonna
Snyder
say
movie would have been
fucking
worse.
Flash TV show would have been worse.
Same.
Where
That's
it
what I'm
went,
saying, it
yeah,
would've been a lot worse.
definitely.
So then all the sandwich nonsense doesn't even make a difference because he goes off to go do his mission anyway. He shows up
Yeah.
to, what even is it? Is it like
I think it's just a hospital.
well, no, because there's some
It's a
kind of like
hospital.
terrorist attack going on and the
No?
hospital's getting blown up. Like the hospital, no, because like remember there's like a
Is it
sinkhole
stairs?
and like the ground is blown up and the hospital's like
Yeah.
falling into it or something. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't remember that being because of a terrorist attack. I think it's just
No,
a
there
thing
is,
that
there's terrorist
happened, no?
going on.
Oh no, you're
Yeah,
right,
there is
there
terrorism going on.
was. Because Batman ends up chasing them
So-
down, yeah.
These unnamed,
Uh,
unknown, irrelevant terrorists.
what the
blow
fuck were
up-
they stealing? They had
They
stolen
decided to-
something. No, they weren't
They
stealing
decide
the
to
big
blow up the
piece.
floor just out of spite, I guess.
Yeah.
Thus leading to a hospital collapsing, and Flash has to, of course, save the day
Side falling
because
off.
the side of a building fell off.
Yeah.
So, not the man who's known for flying around in bat-shaped, you know, stuff. Not, you know,
Yeah.
are they Superman still around in this universe? I'm sure he is. Yeah.
They mentioned that he was called
Oh,
first,
okay,
but
he's
like
in a different country, isn't it? Yeah,
he's
in a
off
different
like at a
country. Yeah.
volcano or something. I don't know.
They say Wonder Woman's not
Uh,
around, which is a lie, because she shows up
Because she
like a few
shows
minutes
up
later.
later, anyways.
So I mean, I don't know why she couldn't have just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if she can fly, but she can definitely
I think she can in
oh,
this
she can
universe, anyways. Yeah,
leap fairly well.
she can lasso light. She can lasso lightning and swing off it. She might as
Exactly.
well
Okay,
be
there you go.
flying.
Right. Who else is around?
Yeah. Did they even bother
They did
mentioning
in
Cyborg? I don't think they did.
They did later. They did
Cyborg
later
never
because he
showed.
doesn't exist. But we'll get to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
regardless, the Flash, the guy who's strictly reduced to just his legs alone,
Round.
has to
Hmm.
solve the issue of people falling in midair. So he does this.
Yeah. He
by-
ties up some wires and that magically stops it from falling.
No, it's like no.
Isn't
'cause
that
I'm-
what
I'm
he
talking about
does?
The bit where he's running around like bouncing off stuff in midair and catching people and putting babies in
Oh, right.
microwaves
Yeah.
and fucking kicking pans to stop shit. I don't even know what's going on. And
I don't remember much. I just remember it looked
Yeah.
so bad.
it doesn't look. The thing is, I wasn't even going to mention that because the whole movie looks like dog shit.
And
Yeah.
The whole movie just looks like a PS2,
No, it doesn't
PS3
even
cutscene.
because like they look like something. This just looks unfinished. Like it's just
Yeah,
it just looks like
true.
they didn't finish it.
Looks like they stepped off the Polar
Yeah.
Express, is the way I heard somebody else put it, and I was like, yeah, that's
Pretty
pretty
much,
accurate.
yeah. So this whole scene's not particularly, doesn't make much sense, nor is it very funny. And then it starts.
No.
The movie starts. Not that it doesn't make sense. The movie just starts getting like, what the fuck am I watching kind of stuff, because, as we said, he puts a baby in a microwave, and the microwave dings.
Yeah.
When it's finished.
Yeah, when he goes out with like
when
flash
it's
time,
finished, the
it dings,
microwave dings.
which
That
means it
microwave was
off.
cooking that baby. Like, unless it's one of those old microwaves where the timer runs independently of the rest of it, and like it's like an
I
actual
suppose it could have.
analog kind of like tick 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 kind of timer.
Yeah,
don't
I
see
suppose
why
it
it
could have
would
been,
be.
but I prefer to think
And it wasn't
cooked
plugged
that
into
baby.
anything, but like
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah,
He saves a few
Battery powered
babies, a dog, and a nurse. Yeah.
and a woman. Does he move the nurse when he catches her? Because that becomes a
Yeah,
big thing later
They
on.
mentioned the fact that you can't move people in super speed, but I think he may catch the nurse in it. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Surely, I mean, it's not like he did anything to break her fall. He's just catching her, right? So for that,
but that's like a
yeah,
common
but from that nurse's
superhero
point
thing.
of view,
Like,
she's still falling at incredible velocity. So she should just be
Yeah.
hitting
mhm.
the force of his bones like pretty fucking quick. So she should still be impacted quite
Yeah.
badly, I think. Like, it's not like he like softened the blow
She
in
would.
any way. But they are some tough babies.
Unless it's like,
Um,
well, no, he landed him on like a bit of a gurney with like thin piece of fabric in
maybe
between. They're
these are
fine.
like super babies from The Boys or something. And this is like a crossover.
Maybe
That'd make this more
Yeah.
interesting, but it's not.
slightly, but it's definitely
Anyway,
isn't.
so now on to find said terrorists, which Batman is already
Oh yeah,
taking charge of following. I think my note
Taking the
sums this
piss.
my note for this scene here sums this scene up quite well, I think. This is a vehicle level. What is this? The PS2? Like, it literally looks like
Yeah.
something, once again, from a video
It
game
literally
where it's like,
does.
okay, yeah, we've done
Oh.
the mission, now time for like the little car part where we get to like, drive around and Batman starts grappling around the place, passing his quick time events. And I don't even know, what the fuck does he do?
Oh,
Dodge
who
the explosion
knows?
truck.
Yeah, he like gets into the truck at one point, doesn't he? And he just beats the guys down. And then one guy jumps out by himself.
He just gives up.
He's
He's
just-
just it's like
yeah,
it's like in
yeah.
like the Arkham games when and when you get down to like the last like 3 or 2 people and like one of them starts getting really scared and goes off by himself. So he's just like, fuck this, I'm going,
Yeah.
and he just disappears.
Like, to be
Yeah,
fair, it's Batman. What are you gonna do?
Especially
You're like, the
considering,
last guy
like,
left
he's
is like,
been doing
right,
some
fuck
very
it.
un-Batman-y things. Like a minute ago, like when he
In
grappled
this,
onto the
yeah.
car and he was like, skidding along the ground and like launching himself off things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
And bear in mind, he does
yeah.
kill people
This
in
is
this
supposed to be the
universe.
same
That is a
Batman
thing he
that, like,
does.
stabs people and shoots people in Batman versus Superman and stuff. So I too would also jump out with the car.
Yeah, and also,
I,
yeah. Also, it is Ben Affleck's Batman, and I don't know why he was ever cast in that role. I don't think he's ever done a good job at it.
well, yeah, but I mean,
I think it's
that's
bad.
not an issue exclusive to this movie. That's like, it's been an issue for a while. Yeah.
No, it's just
yeah,
Snyder. It's just another thing to blame Snyder for.
weird. I don't know his voice in this movie as well. I don't know if I can get a clip of it to like explain this to people, but I don't think it sounds the same as it has. I think they tried to.
It's
They tried to,
weirdly
like,
modulated anyway. Like
I think they
it's
tried
just
to
really
go
strange.
so, because obviously this movie's very kind of glowy compared to where we were before in DC.
Yeah.
So I think they went so hard
Mhm.
in trying to get away from all that kind of grim edginess that they kind of went
Mhm.
so far day glow that they even upped Batman's voice, which is just
Could have
fucking
done,
stupid.
but I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
just stupid, but that's this movie, to be honest. So yeah, right. And once again, not looking at this from the Flash's point of view, looking at this from everyone else's point of view. It's been enough time for a bomb to go
Mhm.
off, for people to fall out of a building, and for a couple of minute long car chase to go on. The criminals
Yeah,
all
I
get
think I know where you're going with this.
arrested. They stop for a minute when Wonder Woman shows up to talk to her for a bit.
And then they accidentally get the fucking lasso of truth wrapped around them, and it leads to two of the worst jokes in the entire
Go on.
movie. The fucking Batman saying, like, what was it? I'd never say thank you to someone because of my ego or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then
Very
Flash says, "Oh,
un-Batman
I know
thing.
what's..." Yeah, and Flash says, "Oh, I know what sex is, but I've never had it." Haha. So funny.
To be fair, I think, once again, I mean, I said this movie doesn't make much sense, nor is it very funny. I think the not being funny thing kind of stands out more.
Yeah, it really does. It's stoner humor. It's American stoner humor, and it's
Yeah.
the worst.
It's not good.
It's never been funny.
Not good.
Not good in this.
Which is weird. Because I don't know, like, I'm gonna have to go check who like wrote this movie. Because I remember thinking watching it, because the guy who directed this did it, yeah. And I
Andy
remember,
Machete, yeah.
and I remember sitting there watching this. And at one point, I think I've written down somewhere, thinking like, did they just use the same dialogue the teens in it like used, because this is all like terrible, like teenage boy humor. This is awful, like tripe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did they just reuse some of the lines from it or something? Like, what's going on?
Mm.
But I don't think it was. I think it was written by someone else, so I'm not going to count that.
I'd say it probably was, yeah.
So it goes from there, because sorry, go back to what I was originally saying. So a building has exploded. They have chased down criminals. They have stopped to talk to Wonder Woman, and they have done some unfunny jokes. The Flash runs back to the sandwich shop, and the sandwich is not finished.
Yep.
Why would you ever come back to this place again? That is the worst working of all time. Like,
That must have been like at least half an hour.
Yeah, genuinely.
Like, he ran to Gotham and back. Like, I know he's fast. Like, he ran to Gotham, all that shit happened, then he ran back from Gotham.
I mean, that's like at least a few minutes,
Yeah.
Because Gotham's not close. Like, there's...
No, you see him run across, like, a massive lake to get there.
Yeah, like, it's not close. I mean, even at, like, extreme speeds, that would still take, like, a minute.
Mm.
And this guy's sandwich is nowhere near finished.
No.
So, I mean...
Fuck.
I don't know how that guy is still employed.
Yeah.
I would recommend against ever keeping him employed in any place.
Mm.
And yeah, moving on, because sandwich talk is more appealing than the rest of this movie, but we have to move on.
We have to get through it, yeah. So then there's the fucking segue. The fucking hoverboard.
Go on.
The what?
Do you not remember? Do you not remember how that guy is introduced?
No, who?
I don't.
It's just Barry's friend at the CSI lab, or not even friend,
Oh
just
yes,
the yes.
yeah, yes. I remember
And it's
that.
just him on a Segway, and it slowly like pans up to him.
I remember this.
Oh yeah, I do remember this. Yeah, and he shows up to his job,
Yeah.
and then his job is like, "Mate, you're late," and he's like, "Oh, that's so funny," and then they're like, "Yeah, bitch, go get me a coffee."
Yeah.
So, dead end job, typical kind of stuff. You know, nothing
Yeah.
special going on there, nothing funny.
No.
Um,
There's some reference to Barry's dad's case getting what is it, an appeal? Is that
yeah,
what it's called?
they start setting up the thing, like they start setting up the plot of the film in regards to it's mainly about as Barry's dad, who has been in prison for murder for years now, has I suppose a sentence appeal coming up,
Yeah.
which could possibly vindicate him from all. I don't know if vindicate's the right word. We can free him of all
Blame.
charges, blame
Yeah.
for the death of his mother or whatever. Which Barry is very worked up about. They have a quick conversation in the prison, nothing noteworthy again. So we move on to
Iris West.
where's oh I literally forgot, I literally skimmed over her in my head. Go on,
Yeah,
sorry.
she's in this movie. She's like, "Oh, I'm not talking to you to get a statement. I'm just talking as a friend." But like, I don't know. I got the impression from the Snyder Cut that they'd never met before. That was like the first time they met.
But that makes sense considering she's just in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But apparently they've been friends since fucking college now. I know. Yeah, but it's just awkward. It's really weird. And then what the fuck happens? He walks off. That's when he has the conversation with his dad on the phone, and he goes back in time for the first time,
Yes.
for like a minute. Oh no, he goes back to earlier that day. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. Because and I know that because once again consulting the biblical notes I have here. I have this is the straightest goddamn road of all time. He's been running at the speed of light.
I remember
like 2
saying that when we were
minutes
watching it, and just like,
with no
Jesus
bounds.
Christ, like they could have put some effort into
I
it.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe
No,
we're just
'cause
not American.
The Flash
and we don't
TV
get
show has
this,
him zipping around bends
but
and shit. Like it can't be too difficult if the TV show can do it.
anyway, he runs in a very, very, very particularly straight line, which kind of adds to the video gamey kind
Yeah.
of feels movie again because it just feels like you ran out
Yeah.
of bounds in the map or something.
Looks like it too.
We have a bunch of nonsense about him seeing events in this weird kind
Bubble.
of.
I don't
circular
get how he's
room.
supposed to be making sense of any of that. That just looked like the fucking so confusing to look at. Like
That was a thought, and they never changed it to what they want to actually be.
Which is weird because that's supposed to be the fucking reason why all these movies use so much goddamn green screen, so that they can just change stuff whenever they feel like it. But then they just didn't change that ever. So yeah, he sees a weird, creepy
figure.
I don't know what you call it, like a creepy.
I think
Flash.
he's called Dark Flash. I actually looked this up. I think he's called Dark Flash.
Okay,
We'll call him Black Adam for now.
Who? I'm not calling him Black
I
Adam.
said Black Adam when you saw him though. He said it's just Shazam.
Oh fuck.
Okay, fine.
Oh,
Maybe
Black
he's Black
Adam.
Adam then. Right, so Black Adam shows up.
Black
we'll call him
Allen.
Black Allen.
Yeah, because it's
right?
Barry Allen. Yeah, Black Allen.
Black Allen. Yeah, we'll call him Black Allen, right? Black Allen shows up, gives our Allen a dig.
Whoa! You're
and he
thinking
falls
way
out
too
of
far
the thing.
ahead. No, that's the second time he travels back. The first time he just pokes his head through
what's
and
the
sees the
first time
fallen
then?
babies again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he can piss off. Hang on.
It's all right. Nothing too important happens after that. He just
That's
he
what I
has
was gonna say.
a chat
I mean,
with Batman.
I know I'm
and
forgetting
Iris.
stuff here, but
Yeah.
does it matter?
Except there's no,
Does it
none
really
of it
matter?
fucking matters.
Like, Jesus Christ.
All that you missed really is he has a chat with Batman and then
Man.
another chat with Iris, and then the chat with Iris he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back in time now and change the past."
Yeah, because okay, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That is actually plot significant. So she decides that she mentions the CCTV footage or whatever,
Yeah.
and that gets brought up, and they start watching it, and he's like, "Oh, what if I change the cameras?"
No. His first
So
idea is to
then
put the tomatoes
he-
in the fucking.
the tomatoes in the wrong
No,
place,
that-
the right place.
No, he
Whatever.
just puts it in his mother's shopping
Uh,
cart. You're thinking at the end of the
Oh,
movie.
that's right. She doesn't even.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. She doesn't even like pick them up herself. He just
Yeah.
chucks them in the cart.
And I think he just runs off then, and that's when he starts running back to the future. Yeah.
Hang on a second. I'm sorry. It's just this movie's not. The movie's making.
Yeah,
less
no, I
sense in my
realized this
head
the
right
other
now.
day. It's dumb by itself. The more you think about it, the dumber it gets.
No, because why? Why does? Okay, spoilers for the future part of this movie for anyone listening, trying to listen to this podcast in chronological order. But why does putting this can in his mother's basket change like a lot
Didn't
of
have
stuff?
to go get tomatoes.
Right.
You mean
No,
why does it
wait,
change
wait
the
a second. That
past?
changes like. That changes. Yeah, no, that
Because
changes
this movie-
fucking everything. Yeah. Like when he catches back up,
Because
it
his mother's
changes so
alive.
much shit, right? But at the end of the movie, yeah, but at the end of the movie, he
And
changes
it only changes
the
one
camera,
thing. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it changes one thing, and everything else is the exact same except for
I
like
guess
Batman's.
I guess it's because his mother still dies. But like his dad doesn't.
Okay, but I thought the whole point of this movie was that
Right.
like the butterfly effect is so strong that like
Yeah,
anything
I
he
know.
did was
It doesn't make any sense. I'm just trying to make
shit.
sense of something that they didn't even think about, I guarantee.
Wait, no. But he doesn't go back to his future.
No, he doesn't.
He goes back to a different timeline.
But that's what I'm saying. Why does? Well, surely at the end of the movie there should be two Barrys.
Yeah,
No,
they
because
probably should. Well, no, because it's
Because
the
how
timeline
come-
still plays
because
out
how
the
come-
same up until his dad goes free.
But
Oh,
it
yeah, no,
shouldn't,
you're
'cause he
right.
changed it.
No, because the footage was still corrupt. Because the footage is corrupt, and then he uncorrupts it somehow at the start of this movie.
He uncorrupts it because of Batman's help, but he's still not in the
I
right
know,
universe
yeah,
because it's
I'm
Batman's
aware
different.
of that.
So how does
I
that
don't
make
know.
sense? Okay, anyway, back on track.
Barry
Where
gets
were we?
decked out of the
Where
Speed
were we?
Force.
So Barry gets a fucking slap, and he falls out of the Speed Force, and then he meets
Yeah.
his family.
And then he meets Ezra Miller.
Wait, no, hang on. I'll get to that again in the future. I
Okay.
really want to derail us again. So yeah, he meets his family and he meets the alternate
Yeah.
universe version of himself, who
Absolute
appears
tard.
to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, he seems to be
He's-
missing a few requirements for.
I really want
certain
to
things. Such as
really want
intelligent
to know
thought.
who said themselves, yeah, let's do Flashpoint, but have two Ezra Millers instead. Because I guarantee you there's never been anyone in the history of ever who said this film could use more Ezra Miller.
Yeah. So he robs some
Does do that, yeah.
woman's clothes while being outside his actual house. Why didn't
Yep.
he just run in and
Yeah,
grab his own fucking
funny.
clothes?
Not funny.
Yeah, no, it's not funny, but I
Yeah.
guarantee you they thought it
Yeah.
was. So, yeah.
So oh my god, this is just it's just okay. So this is when things start getting questionable again, because we're supposed to believe that everything in a timeline changes
Yeah.
whenever anything is.
He basically didn't
Even
really
slightly
time
changed,
travel, he
right?
just hopped universes.
So this one person being alive has changed everything so much.
Yeah,
Clearly,
that like superheroes don't exist anymore, and Ben Affleck is not Ben Affleck. Michael Keaton is Batman.
okay. So superheroes don't exist anymore, we're in a universe where it's
Mhm.
just Batman and nothing else.
Well, because Supergirl
Like,
shows
not
up,
nothing
yeah.
else because it's a fucking super person. Yeah, right. So we're in a universe where it's supposed to just be Batman for the most part. Why does this like lightning
Yeah.
striking
Why is it
event
in the
still never
same
happen?
place at the same time?
Same place, exact same time, and allows itself to
Mm.
happen to the exact
Well, I
same
suppose
person.
he sets it up so.
But yeah, I know, but like, I mean, it's just considering the other characters weren't given that,
Yeah.
chance. I'd because it's not even just like superheroes don't exist. Their whole families have changed because he rings Aquaman's dad, and
No,
Aquaman's
he's the
dad
same
isn't the same
person, but the
no?
mother's different.
Like,
Yeah.
exactly, right? So everything is quite badly changed except
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
weather.
literally.
Then at what point
When
does
the other
When does
Barry
Drew
gets
have
his
his powers?
powers. For some reason, the lightning bolt takes them away, which is so dumb.
okay, yes, for some reason, for some reason, the lightning bolt gives powers to
Hang
one
on
Flash, but
now.
not the other Flash.
Doesn't it travel through the guy who's already the Flash and hit the one who isn't?
It does.
So why does he heal if that takes away his powers? Yeah,
The lightning strikes.
because the other Barry, the second one it hit, had a hole in his chest and it healed because of the superpowers. But if the other one lost his powers, how does he still?
And we see later on that
Yeah.
lightning hits him again.
How is he
he's
just
fucked up.
fine afterwards? He loses a tooth and that's it.
Might not be. So then they go through this list of superheroes that don't exist
After
in this
they-
universe. It's all very
Yeah.
unfunny again. He asks about Batman last, which is very
Yeah.
strange considering they're supposed to be besties.
And that's when the woman,
So they go.
yeah, the
yeah,
woman
turns out
from the
Batman
start
does
of the
exist.
movie who like bullied the shit out of normal Barry is apparently his housemate in this universe, along with a bunch of shit that's going on. Fucking
Bunch of people, yeah. I don't know what kind of share house he lives
what's
in.
the one?
Fucking go on
What's the
now,
one
like.
thing they kept bringing up about Back to the Future? Your man plays Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz plays Marty
In fact,
McFly, yeah.
It's not. Yeah,
Which I
Eric
thought was a
Stoltz
cool
Michael
little
J.
thing,
Fox.
because that is true.
Because-
There was a version of Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly. But then they start referencing a bunch of other films, and it's just really fucking weird. Top Gun,
Well,
they
that's
said
the
someone
first
else
one.
played Maverick? Yeah, and I don't remember what the third one
Yes.
was. But it was just real.
There's just
Yeah.
a bunch of old movies.
And that
again.
guy has
It's
Eric,
just-
fucking Marty McFly.
Ah,
I don't know why.
It's on his
it's
calf as
He
well.
has-
yeah.
yeah, because yeah, Marty McFly
It's
on
so
a calf. Yeah.
fucking dumb.
Once again, terrible fucking
Bruce
Oh,
playing the
80s
piano.
stoner humor.
Yeah, all the characters in that scene are just fucking terrible. No,
Not remotely.
it's genuinely one of the hardest
moving
things
on
to watch in the entire film.
Moving on to the part that people actually came to see the fucking movie for.
Yeah.
Because we go to go find Batman, which, as everybody knows, because that's all the movie's advertised on, is Michael Keaton. Avoiding the fact that Michael Keaton
No,
shouldn't be in this movie, because he literally made a whole movie about moving on from superhero
that
roles when you
Birdman, is that what that was called? Yeah.
Yeah, which is a fantastic
Mm.
movie, and everyone should go watch that instead. Shouldn't be in this, but he is. He shows up, and he's all haggard and Alan Moore looking, and he decides to start battering the Flash when he shows up. Again, a scrap. He loses because he's about 70.
One of the Barrys has super speed.
And yeah, and
They
one of the guys
recreate.
has
Sorry,
speed.
they recreate like
and
that fucking
then-
scene from Justice League where he throws the batarang, but I think he throws his shoe. Does he, or a pot or something?
And throws.
No.
Yeah, it's not a batarang. And the first Barry
Yeah.
dodges it and hits the second one. The second one keeps getting hit by random stuff, and then he admits defeat by just
Yeah.
start making pasta. So like, he just, for whatever reason, Batman, who's not, it's not that he's any different that he's supposed to be. He's still Batman. Ends up just making pasta for the invaders.
And apparently he's barely Batman anymore because Gotham is now one of the safest places to live. Yeah,
It doesn't make much sense.
Doesn't.
Because, I mean, in a while since I watched the Batman and Batman Returns, but didn't seem like that place was. It was not a very realistic situation, so I don't imagine why the criminals would just stop. It just seems like one of those kind of like Lego Batman, there's always going to be some kind of villain just running around.
Although to be fair, in a world where Batman is the only superhero to exist, well, not even superhero, like hero, I guess. I think at some point the criminals would decide, like, maybe we should go rob a bank in another city. Yeah.
You think, yeah, like, I mean, because that was kind of always the thing about Gotham, is that, like, the concept of Gotham doesn't really work with normal criminals.
Yeah.
It has to be this over the top, exaggerated example of criminals, which is why the crime rate shouldn't have dropped to zero, because it doesn't make any sense. Because, it's just it's not how it works. But why exactly does he look?
I have no fucking clue. Cause he's still in a massive mansion.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, because I know he's no longer Batman, but that doesn't mean he should just give up all sense of self-care. Like, I mean, it's not like the new Batman we have now where he's some like emo recluse. I mean, 89 Batman still went to events and like parties and shit. He had a girlfriend, and I mean, I don't see why he'd suddenly become, Mr. Self-deprecation, like, just because we're all dead.
It doesn't really make any fucking sense.
Yeah. And then this, goes literally about as typical as you can imagine.
He explains time travel.
They show up and they're like, "Oh, help us," and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna help you." Brr. And they're like, "Ah, no," and then they fucking jump into the Batcave and just start.
I just want to point out now, the second Barry hasn't seemed to let it sink in yet that he's actually Batman. But he doesn't realize until way too late. Well, I suppose he knows, but it doesn't sink in properly.
So they're in the Batcave. He sees the Batmobile. They're using the Bat computer. And only when Batman does that typical movie thing where he's like, "I changed my mind," he fucking shows up and he's like, "Oh my god, it's Batman." Because, great to make characters stupid.
Why does he change his mind? Because, like, Barry points out, "Oh yeah, my Batman had an Alfred too." And then just suddenly he's back on site.
I mean, could have offered him fucking, chocolate bar for all I know. Like obviously, he was going to do it anyway. Yeah. Well, that he obviously said no to
must have done,
and stuff. I mean, like,
as he comes back down, completely shaved.
Seriously, yeah. Comes back clean shaven, yeah. So must have just been upstairs shaving.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention the reason they're in the Batcave is to find Superman.
Yeah, they're trying to find Superman because they realized that for whatever reason, even though previously, the events of Man of Steel happened in a universe with a different Batman, now we're going to say that the 1989 Batman universe is the events, has the Man of Steel events going on.
Fuck.
Because I don't know. But they got to find Superman. Turns out Superman's like imprisoned.
I think that might have something to do with fucking Superman Red Son. It might be some weird reference to that, maybe. It's stupid either way. It's stupid either way.
Maybe. Yeah.
And
Because, I mean, sure,
she must
she's
have
been
been
there for
like,
years.
because she looks like
Donkey
very
years, yeah.
fucking withered. She hasn't seen the sun. Yeah.
Anyway, so we all go to Russia because apparently American movies still
Yep.
don't like Russia. It's cool to dislike them again. So there's, instead of like having, I mean, I don't really know how to explain this, because you think it's like a kind of a stealth scene and then they get spotted and there's gonna be like a chase or something, but then there's a stealth scene, they get spotted, they beat up the guys that spotted them,
Yeah.
then nothing happens.
They find Supergirl.
They find
And Batman's
Supergirl, then nothing continues to happen, and then one scientist just shows up all of a sudden, and Batman just like
and then
fucking
Flash
nearly kills
does
him.
kill him. That man is dead. And then
And
he
then
gets
Flash
shot
does
in the
kill him.
leg.
And then the Flash is not
Yeah,
bulletproof.
but like, surely he could have. Like, he can move at the speed of light. The second he heard the gunshot, he should have been out of there.
You think his
Yeah.
reactions would be
I just want to
very
point
weird.
out that when they find Supergirl and it's not Superman, Batman just goes, "It's not him," and then goes to fucking leave.
Jace, yeah, be grand. We'll just leave. It's like, yeah, it's a very Batman thing to do, isn't it? Oh, look at this fucking poor girl being kept prisoner by these
Russian psychopaths. Yeah.
weird Soviet-esque Russians.
Oh,
Yeah, this is ditch her, screw her, who cares? On a guy.
fuck's sake.
So yeah, they drag her out.
Oh, they're Barry
They drag
out, yeah.
the Flash out. When we get up to the top, and since they're in the sunlight, Supergirl is able to fend off all the Russians. But then she's still knackered.
So she
even though
just
she's still in
collapses.
sunlight. So she falls asleep. They go back home.
Yeah.
Gets more sunlight. And then she does the "I'm not helping."
Goes off to find
and
Zod.
goes away thing.
What was her plan there? We know from the
which we
moment
already-
Zod is mentioned that she doesn't like Zod. But then she goes off to find Zod.
Yeah.
And then when she does, she immediately leaves. Like, I don't get what her plan was. Like, at first I thought she was going to join him. But then...
Because... So she... I mean... So she...
It is so dumb. Like I said, the second you think more about it, it gets even dumber.
And also, I don't know what kind of creepy-ass Russians these were, but
Did
they
they?
kept their clothes.
Oh, they
kept the
did, yeah.
super, like, girl
They
outfit,
took her out of
They
it,
just
put
had
her in
that
some
around.
rags, and just left the actual outfit on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's like, I hate Zod. I'm gonna go fucking bathroom. And then she shows up to Zod, and then Zod blows up a few like army guys.
Yeah.
And she's like, Jace, never mind.
Yeah.
And she goes back, and they're trying to figure out a
Give
plan
Barry
to,
his powers back, yeah.
lightning strike Barry. What is it about lightning that gives him in particular powers? Because surely people
I
have
don't
been struck by
know.
lightning before.
In the TV show, there was like a whole fucking... I don't know if it's in the comics, but there's like a dark matter wave or something, and it hit a load of people and gave them powers, and he just happened to get struck by lightning at the same time. So he got super speed. I have no clue why it happens in the comics.
Because these are just random bolts of lightning at this stage in this movie. Like they're just trying to summon.
Actually, you know what? I think in the
comics
comics it's the chemicals and the lightning mix and gave him his powers. I think that might be what it is. So I'm guessing that's what it is in the movie as well.
Well, that sounds like something, yeah. But I mean, in this case, he's just getting struck by
Well, they have the
bolts of
chemicals on
lightning.
the side of the chair. I don't think they ever smash, but they're there. Actually, no. Yeah, no, you're right. Because afterwards, he just gets flown up into the clouds and struck by a second bolt.
Yeah, and gets hit by another random bolt of lightning.
I have no clue.
So he gets his powers, and we're finally around for our big finale. As you might be able to tell,
No.
still not very exciting stuff.
Oh, you forgot to mention Flash's new suit.
So
That looks fucking horrible.
Oh, that's right. Since there's two Flashes, we haven't seen a second Flash suit, so we paint Batman's suit, which shouldn't be able to color. I don't know why it
No, it
colors his
doesn't.
lightning too.
No, it's the other suit that colors the lightning. His lightning stays blue.
Oh, so that's not like I thought
No.
yellow lightning was the normal state.
Blue is the
Blue
normal
is
state, I think,
covered,
and then
okay.
yellow is the one that's changed by lightning, or changed by the suit.
Okay, cool. Cool. So it's good to know Batman's suit is able to withstand that much friction. So especially considering it looks like it's made out of tire rubber or something. It doesn't look.
And I love that the emergency tape he has tacked onto it doesn't even catch fire. Considering his clothes do earlier in the movie, like another thing that they set up but don't ever fucking pay off.
Because they're just like jokes. That's all. They just want quick jokes. It doesn't really matter what's going on. Anyway, so we get to the big finale, and I know I wasn't going to say, "Oh my god, how bad the CGI looks," but this scene in particular, they load into
a mobile game,
like a Gmod sandbox map that has no buildings in it, so you can spawn stuff in. Because this is the widest, flattest desert of all time. There is nothing to be seen for miles and miles and miles. Not even like a mountain, like a dune or anything. Nothing. It's just flat landness the whole way. And they show up.
Die.
Fight Zod. The fight goes. Yeah, the fight goes.
I just remembered.
We go in.
Suicide bomb.
So we go into a scene. Yeah, right. So we go into, I think, my least favorite scene in the movie, because everybody just has a complete lapse of all sensibility, and because it's basically it's like professional wrestling. It's like, we were written to lose this, so we have to just, we're just gonna suddenly just get pinned by this. You know what I mean? So since they have to lose this fight, Batman blows himself up in a kamikaze attack on Zod. For some reason.
Oh no, he didn't realize it was shielded. This is the first time around when he blows himself up. He didn't realize it was shielded. He just fucking kamikazed into it.
Well, well, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, he kamikazed into it for nothing. Because he was like, "Oh no, my ejector seat is broken."
That's right. Yeah, he just flies into it. He could have flown away, gotten out
rather than just landing. Yeah, rather than going away. Yeah. Rather than going back home,
could have also just provided air support. Like, the thing was broken, but he could still fly it pretty well.
He's like, Jesus, my seat's broken. Better, that's gonna take me a few hours to fix. Better just kill myself. But he flies into the spaceship, and they're like, oh no, Jesus! And then Super Tomboy gets fucking battered by Zod. And then there's a long scene of just watching her get stabbed for a long time.
And then having something sucked out of her, whatever, the magic Zod Zeus.
That's what I mean, because that thing stabs her as well. So it's just kind of a very uncomfortable scene of just watching her get stabbed for a bit. And then they're like, oh, that's not right. We gotta reverse time and fix this. And you're like, oh, cool. That's, we're going back to something that was established earlier. They can rewind time. Let's do it and fix what's wrong. So then they go back, and then everyone dies again.
I love the fucking. He's like warning Batman not to kamikaze because it's shielded, and Batman just immediately goes, "Okay," and just pulls off.
Yeah. They're like, watch out, Batman. That thing will probably kill you if you kamikaze into it. And he's like, oh yeah, okay. And he no longer wants to kill himself. He's just fine.
He then actually has a pretty decent fight against one of the Kryptonian fucking the big one, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He's
John
just
too, I
sticking
don't know.
bombs to him and blowing
But,
him up.
so I want to point out one thing. This is going back, and I
No,
need to get better at
it's
not
the
going
same
back
scene probably, so
over
it's fine.
things. But
Yeah.
it is, yes. They worry about the army not knowing.
Yeah,
what
that's
Batman's
right.
on.
Actually.
He's flying. A
Also, he's
fucking
Batman.
bat plane.
He's the only hero to exist in this world. He's going to be
he's
pretty well
Batman.
known.
He's the only superhero known to exist. You'd think the military, especially because they're all old enough. They've only been around in a while, but they're all old enough to know that the big fucking bat plane in the sky that doesn't look like an alien spaceship is
Especially
Batman.
considering he works in Gotham, which is like
Jesus
the
fucking
DC
Christ.
universe, New York, right? So, like, a superhero existing in New York, everyone's going to know about that. Like, it doesn't matter how much time has passed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's going to be culturally relevant. Like, so, anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, everybody dies
Actually,
multiple times over.
I want to
because
go
they're
back
all
because I remember,
cheap and
like,
useless.
when they first drop in, Barry tells, like, younger Barry that, like, we won't be able to kill them, but we can slow them down or something like that, I think he says. And then he immediately kills one by shoving his hand through its chest. Yeah, he just shoves his hand through his chest, and the other Barry knows how to do that shit as well. So just do that. You are fast enough to do that to everyone there.
Which is actually that is like a recurring issue actually, because earlier he uses that technique to walk through a wall, and I remember saying like, how come he didn't just phase through the floor? And later on in the movie he does phase through the floor, so I was like, what? That doesn't make any fucking sense. So then they start phasing through people, which is actually a graphic way to kill somebody.
That's how the Reverse Flash did it in the fucking TV show, and he was considered to be like this horrible killer, like, because it's just such a brutal way to kill someone.
Yeah, because that is like a that's a villain way of killing someone, sticking your hand through them. Like,
no,
it's not a heroic way.
He just does it so nonchalantly as well.
Like, in Temple of Doom, it wasn't Indiana Jones sticking his hand through his chest. You know what I mean? Like, it was the weird underground cultist.
No.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. He was the one, fucking chopping rope bridges and making them all fall into the.
Still a horrible way to die, but it's not as bad. Yeah,
it's a bit less personal. It's less personal.
But yeah, anyways, where are we? They'd gone back the second time.
They gone back again and again, and they keep going back and they keep dying because.
And then Batman's
stupid.
like, "Yeah, no, this is a fixed point. You can't save us."
Yeah, apparently this is just like a guaranteed event. It's like in Fallout or something, like Skyrim, where it's like some characters are just
even though it
and
would
they can't kill them or whatever.
Incredibly easy to actually save them if they just put in a few minutes.
What game am I thinking about?
Skyrim?
Some game I'm thinking about where if you kill someone who's like plot significant, like a warning pops up.
Could be Half-Life. One of the Half-Life games I know does that. If you kill Gordon Freeman in opposing force, it pops up.
Hello, this is future 6 a.m. editing, whatever, Adam. The game I was thinking of was Morrowind. And I know we said we were going to come back to this, so we may as well do it now rather than later. The concept of not being able to catch somebody because you'll just...
Oh yeah, we skipped over the scene where that was shown.
Right? There's a kid... There's a kid in the Superman universe.
Fucking Barry was there during whatever the fuck it was called.
Like when the big explosion goes off, there's a big launching around the place, and the Flash catches this kid. The kid should be dead. We don't really find out.
Yeah,
but he's he should be dead. That makes sense, right? So not only does the Flash kill him in that universe, when they go back in time and everything happens again.
Yeah, and you're directly shown that kid, like, afterwards.
Yeah, that kid does not get saved. Yeah, like he's just dead again. So I mean, that must have been a canon event as well. Like, just the idea that this kid just has to perish.
Oh, fuck.
So, okay, once again, I'm going to refer to my notes again for this bit, right? For the finale, I'll read my last, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll
Yeah.
read my last 5 notes, okay? I have, that kid is dead now. Why did he blow himself up?
Why
This
did he
is
blow
pathetic.
himself up? Oh yeah, that's Batman.
Yeah. This is pathetic. These guys
Mhm.
aren't very good at anything. This is dumb. Full stop. That's my last note, and I just watched the rest of the movie from there
You
on. I
didn't
just
miss
couldn't
much.
take any more.
Well, actually, you missed the entire
So,
thing with the actual
just-
main antagonist of the film.
Yeah. So then the actual
Yes.
fucking villain shows up, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's the evil Flash!" And then he's like, "You can't stop this from happening."
No, he's like,
Everyone has to
nobody has.
die."
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, okay." And then I don't even remember what they really do. with him, to
Yeah,
be
I
honest. They
think
knock his mask
young
off.
Barry comes back because he's still trying to change something, and he sees the Dark Flash, and he
Yeah.
just like slaps him or something. Because like during this fight, like Barry's getting
Yeah.
like constantly stabbed with fucking Kryptonian weapons, and they're just like building up. Like he comes
Yeah.
back and there's a new one every time, which shouldn't be happening because he's fucking fast as light itself. But whatever. And then I guess he just knocks him with one, and like part of the mask falls off.
Yeah. So and it's revealed that it was the second Barry.
It's gonna be fucking hard to
Who-
explain this.
I
It's
don't really know.
future younger Barry, but not the future Barry that we've been following
Yeah.
for the entire film.
Who has an issue with?
Yeah, he's saying
something.
like, "Oh, but I can still save everyone. I've been doing
don't
this for like
know.
70 years, and I finally figured it out."
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I mean, he has this figured it out, and these two morons
Yeah.
are just
Oh,
like,
because all
fucking
the
up
other
his
fucking
plans.
universes start showing up and just
And then
crash. Nicolas Cage's
right.
Superman.
So like
is
so for whatever reason they cause the three of them being there at the same time causes like a complete
yeah, you see,
multiversal
I think
collapse.
it's Christopher Reeves.
And they once again try to get some, have funny jokes in there. So they
Which
have,
is actually
like the George Reeves
apparently
Superman.
the George Reeves
and the
Superman is
Christopher
in
Reeve
really
Superman.
poor taste. He did not want to be known as Superman. So it's actually really fucking disgusting
Yeah.
that they brought him back like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a Jay Garrick
So-
Flash show up, who I think is completely CGI. I don't think
Yes.
anyone's actually there. I think that's.
And of course, because people have to reference.
Yeah, I think we
things
also
these
saw
days, I guess,
Adam West Batman. Did we?
We get.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, we get Nicolas Cage Superman, which doesn't make any
No.
sense at all, because if you think about it, right? I know it's great that we can laugh at the Nicolas Cage Superman, and all these other nerds on YouTube that are like us can laugh at Nicolas Cage Superman.
Yeah.
But this is a big
Like the
budget
general
public
audience
release
has no
movie.
fucking clue.
How
that
many-
Nicolas Cage?
yeah.
is.
Like
Yeah.
you went to go see it with your family, yeah?
No.
You think any of them had any
I guarantee you,
preconceived notion
every
that Nicolas
single
Cage
one
was
of them
ever
had given
supposed
up
to be
at this
Superman?
point. They did not give a shit. So just shoving Nicolas Cage Superman in there just didn't help at all.
But that's what
No.
I'm saying. It doesn't add anything. Like, I don't understand. I mean, people need to understand that sometimes. That it's great that we can all be in our little inner circle.
Yeah,
but the
especially when
outer
it comes
circle
to
matters
big
too.
budget movies that you really need to succeed.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
it fucking
this one
didn't. It
didn't really,
flopped.
but,
It deserved to flop.
yeah. But I know the thing is they've done such a bad job marketing the Flash as a whole that I actually know my ma still actually whenever I say the Flash, she still thinks of Flash Gordon.
Fair enough.
Like she doesn't think it. Yeah, she doesn't think of like
No.
3D Flash. She just thinks of Flash Gordon, which is how bad of a job they've done
Yeah.
with this goddamn movie. That
To
she
be
thinks
honest,
that it's the same thing.
Supergirl and Batman were the biggest parts of the marketing. And to be fair, Supergirl, I think, might actually
Yes,
be the best part of this
because
film, despite being a nothing character.
maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
just when you get to do
but I
much.
still find her more tolerable than Flash.
Yeah,
Now,
because she doesn't say anything annoying,
oh,
and she's
yeah.
a bit different.
While we're on the topic of the cameos, actually,
Um,
why didn't they have like other Flash it's all well and good to have like Superman show up. Why didn't they
Yeah, why
just
didn't
use like
other
footage
Flashes
from the
show up?
TV show? Have Grant Gustin appear for like 2 seconds, or like the '90s Flash? They could have done either. Like they could have done anything with this, and they used fucking 4 different versions of Superman. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
weird choice.
It's 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 crazy because you would never think that a movie called The Flash would be
Yeah,
such a disrespect to the Flash, but literally, the marketing
no,
didn't give a shit about him. Plot of the movie is about him messing
yeah,
up and not being able to save
yeah,
anybody,
literally, yeah.
and the the cameos are not,
No,
don't have anything to do with him. It's like I'm not a Flash fan, but
no,
this is
it's
not written by Flash fans. Like it's
yeah, no,
like,
it's
it's it's not
no,
good for anybody. It's not good for the general audience. It's not good for Flash fans. It's not good for movie fans like me
no.
because it's not good enough to be considered anything worthwhile.
This is a movie that
It's
will be
just slop.
forgotten about by the start of next year, guaranteed.
It's slop.
Mm.
It's just
Anyways, back to the plot. Fucking.
um. So
I think
you can go on.
young Barry jumps in front of Dark Flash as he tries to attack future Barry because he's trying to kill him for some reason, I guess. And in doing so, Dark Flash erases himself from history, which should not work based on like the time travel rules we've been given in the movie. And if it does work, it means that Dark Flash never could have existed in the first place. Because like, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
I
revealed
know
that
what you
Dark
mean.
Flash set this all up
They,
to create himself. But yeah,
which doesn't make
if
any
that's
sense
the
because he doesn't
case,
exist then.
then he would always have died at that moment when young Barry jumps in front of Dark Flash.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't make
no,
any
it
sense.
doesn't. And just assuming, like, despite the
Like,
fact that they're completely different rules from what's already set up, it still makes no sense.
yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. I think they just
Gave
it's like
up.
they just kind of I don't even know how to explain it. No, it's like they just kind of sat there and went, "Oh, we're making a time travel movie. What do we need?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll have some bollocks about meeting yourself in there. Oh, yeah, okay, it makes sense. That's a time travel staple. Like, oh, and Back to the Future, he has to, Marty McFly has to ensure
Yeah.
his own existence by making sure his parents meet. Let's just have this fella ensure his own existence by making all these people do this stuff. But it's a different thing when we're supposed to be like, oh, okay, this is very serious, rather than,
Yeah.
oh, this is a goofy
Yeah,
comedy.
pretty much.
But yeah, the tone is very different, and this doesn't make any fucking sense. And it ends kind of on
Yeah,
quite
it really
a down
does.
note,
I don't think
really.
they thought about it, but yeah, it really is quite a down note.
Yeah, because then rather than going on to save anybody, now I'm gonna get to this in a minute because I know we said we weren't going to review the new Spider-Man,
Because it
but I
does a
want to
lot
bring
of
it
the
up
shit that this movie does
because
just
I
better.
think
Yeah.
yeah, because it's literally like the antithesis of this movie. So the Flash then has to go basically
pretty
kill
much.
his by undoing the tomato can thing. There's never anything done about the murderer. Like, we never actually do find out if there is a real killer.
Yeah, that's true.
Never brought up. So she's just dead, and his father is just going to jail. That just has to happen. It's not like they could have done a kind of a slight thing at the end where he realizes, wait a minute, why don't I just catch whoever actually killed her or whatever, you know. And that doesn't happen. So she dies. He goes back to the modern day. That's probably my favorite, one of my
Where
favorite
he
scenes
just
in the movie, to be honest. The kind of like
yeah,
the
no,
goodbye
I
scene
agree
with his
there.
mother. I think it's the only scene where I actually felt an emotion, but it's not the emotions you should
No.
be feeling watching a superhero.
It's
blockbuster,
also just
you
like
know.
the music in the scene is just like way too like for what's going on. Like it's just
Yeah.
too. I can't think of the word, but I think you know what I'm trying to say.
To how did you explain it?
I cannot remember the music.
It's just really like soppy
I don't really
emotional
remember the music
music.
either. I'm just trying to think of a.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too down.
Because like I know that he
Such a
is
down
basically
scene.
killing his
and
mother
it's
there.
too,
but, like,
it's
yeah,
too much as well. Like you kind of let the scene speak for itself in a way.
that's
because
the
they're
word.
talking most
Overbearing.
of
The
it.
music is too overbearing. That's what I'm thinking of.
There you go. So then he catches
He
back
changes
up in
the
modern
cans
day,
around in the past first, though, to
and
get his dad off from prison. Get his dad off from prison. Sorry.
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm an adult. I know what you meant. I'm not a fucking 13-year-old sitting there like, oh jeez, look at that. They're saying get him off. Yeah, so he changes. So after all of this time we just spent learning about how some things just should happen and we shouldn't try to play God and we shouldn't try to do all this. He plays God
Yeah.
and changes the future again. So he's learned nothing. But this time we have a good outcome in that his dad gets out of jail. And then we get left on a cliffhanger because he meets George Clooney Batman, which is not only which is another non-Flash.
See, that's the thing I don't get. I thought like the Val
Um,
Kilmer, the what's his name, and the George Clooney were all supposed to be the same version of Batman. Just he got recast a lot. Yeah,
they're very similar. Yeah,
like
they're very
I know the
similar.
later two movies have a completely different tone
Um,
because the director. But I always just kind of assumed it was the one story, anyways.
It makes sense because once again they kind of have that thing I was talking about where it is that kind of real kind of comic book style kind of sense to it, where everything is very gothic and over the top, and it's all about these like crazy villains rather than anything realistic. But anyway, yeah. So he shows up because haha reference, and then in a way we get left in a cliffhanger because that means that other multiverse stuff is still
completely.
Just never to be resolved. There's a weird after credit scene
Drunk
about
Aquaman. I think
Aquaman.
he's explaining, the other universe to him. Yeah, but then he's saying like
What
Batman's
happened.
different here, though. He looks completely different.
Once again, doesn't matter.
No.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
That's the end. What a shit movie.
Yeah.
Two
scoring?
2 out of 10.
2.
Did
You
yo?
probably said no.
I said yo. Oh no. 2 out of 10?
Oh, okay.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 2 out of 10, yeah.
I gave it, and then on my actual diary, I gave it a 1 out of 5, so that's the same thing.
Jesus Christ. Again, I think...
It's not unwatchable. I just don't think anybody
I
should
genuinely
watch it.
think Batman and Supergirl were the only fucking good parts of this movie.
Not even
Well,
really
I've never
Batman,
seen
he
like the
doesn't
89
really...
one, so I don't know if he's like in character.
I mean, I have, and I have a decent amount of nostalgia for it because that's the kind of Batman I like. But because I don't like that kind of really
That's
kind of
fair,
grimy Batman. But yeah, it's the kind of Batman I like, and I was watching this and I was like,
No.
I just don't care. He's not done anything. Like I just do not care. But anyway, as I was saying, so thematically, this and Into the Spider-Verse are very similar. Actually, they're both multiversal movies about what can and can't be done in superhero logic, right? In the Flash's case, it's the whole thing of like, superheroes have to learn that they can't do everything all at once. Um, some things just have to happen. You have to accept bad things do exist, even though you're supposed to be a super person, and
Yeah,
just get over
pretty
yourself,
much, yeah.
big baby. Right. Whereas Into the Spider-Verse, actually another thing, sorry, is that they're both supposed to be very kind of over the top
Yeah,
and colorful
yeah,
in their
sure.
designs. Right. Into the Spider-Verse, once again, over the top and colorful. It doesn't look as bad, but it is also not. It is kind of animated, but it's not, that terrible green screen looking
No,
animation.
yeah.
It's much better animation. In terms of actual storyline, much more coherent because it doesn't fumble multiple timelines at the same time. This is all one cohesive multiverse working together. It makes sense. There's no back and forth, jumping around, messing bollocks going on. And once again, the theme of the whole what superhero can and can't do Into the Spider-Verse challenges, because the antagonist of that movie is arguing the fact that sometimes tragedy just has to happen. And the protagonist is arguing that why should we listen to that? That's nonsense. We have superpowers. Why not use them? Why shouldn't we be good people? We shouldn't just allow things to happen because we think we're bound by some kind of as they say in that movie, kind of canon event that has to happen. Why do superheroes have to have tragic backgrounds? And it's not necessary. So you can guess which movie you should go see instead.
Flash, obviously, you should go see The Flash.
I highly recommend No Hard Feelings.
There is one scene that movie will be remembered for, and that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Nudity.
It's Jennifer Lawrence.
It's Jennifer Lawrence on a beach fighting some people nude. That's it. That's all that movie's going to be remembered for.
I like how Robbie instantly asked, "Is Jennifer Lawrence in it?" It's very funny. like literally, nothing from all review, nothing hasn't added anything to the review whatsoever, and then Jennifer Lawrence gets mentioned as well. Yeah,
but fuck's sake, man! Everything about this movie was wrong. Just like the villain. Well, sorry, the villain should have been Dark Flash, right? He should have been in a lot more of the movie. He should have been much more obvious threat. Like if they're just going with the two villains they have said, why Zod? Zod has nothing to do with the Flash.
Yeah, but it's just, as I said, it's because this movie, it actually stinks like it was written by a Flash hater, to be honest. Because as I already said, a lot of things aren't Flash related. The villain isn't even Flash related.
It's Superman's villain.
It's Superman's villain.
The fucking
and Supergirl beats him up. It's saying the Flash has to do anything.
It's so bad. If you want to watch a good version of this film, just watch the animated Justice League Flash movie, Flashpoint. It's literally this movie, but actually done right. Because okay, first things first. When Barry first goes back in time and realizes that none of his friends exist, instead of just being like, "Oh, none of my friends exist, but my mother's alive," he tries to fix it straight away instead of waiting till the end of the movie. Right? Reverse Flash is the villain, so it's someone that's actually tied to him, and the world-ending threat actually has some stakes. It's not just Batman being like, "Oh yeah, you can't save us, we're dead." It's the whole world is literally blowing up. He has to fix it at that point. It's his only option. I don't know why they didn't just directly adapt that. But I suppose fucking Wonder Woman. Yeah, but it's not even really that original. I suppose Wonder Woman and Aquaman are kind of essential. But they're both in this, actually. They're essential to that storyline, but they're both in this. Anyways. I don't know. They could have done so much more. They could have done anything more.
Could have done so much more. Anything. Yeah, really, it is just they could have done anything. It's on every level, it's just a
Mm.
catastrophic failure. To be honest, like it's
Fucking
just. I mean, once again, it's only barely above being
even
a
the
half-star
TV
movie
show
for
did
me.
it better.
Like it's
That's saying something.
yeah, it's shocking.
Fuck me. Well, hopefully James Gunn does something with the Flash at some point, and it's actually good. Actually, that's another thing. This movie was supposed to reset that entire universe, and it didn't even manage to do
Yeah,
that.
no, because yeah, sorry, I was really gonna bring that up. Actually, I was gonna say I remember you talking about this movie for years and being like, "Oh yeah, it's how they're gonna like fix everything in
Yeah,
the DC universe because it all fell apart." And I was thinking about it there a minute ago, where I was thinking about the ending
exactly.
and how I said it was a cliffhanger. That
Like
doesn't
if they're
this
unless
doesn't
they're
resolve
planning on having
anything.
George Clooney be Batman, they haven't done anything.
No,
No.
it's not gonna happen.
Uh,
They haven't. It's like we're just gonna have to reset
again, yeah.
like the hard way, which once again is very hard to explain to the casual kind of viewer who doesn't follow this shit, because they're just gonna go like, "Wow, another
Yeah.
Superman movie? Like, you kidding me?" Like, like it's because it's not nothing coherent about it. It's all nothing's nothing's actually attached. They're not
No.
building anything. And I know people are kind of like that for Marvel movies as well. They're kind of like, oh, another Marvel movie, but in this case, it's like, wow, they're
Yeah.
casting another
They
Superman.
did
Like,
actually
that's
announce
probably
that
what I noticed.
casting the other day, didn't they? Fucking some. He looks like Superman, so it'll probably be fine. Like
He looks like
generic
Superman.
face, black hair.
But you'd think that they would have went with like
Yeah, and
Supergirl
it's such a
content, but she's
shame
just
as well
dead in
because
the
I
water there.
remember seeing like the video where she was told she was cast as Supergirl. Sasha Cal, I think her name is, and she was actually genuinely really happy. Like she obviously does really like that character. So yeah, but like
But likes the
she
money
was
too.
really excited. Like you could see it in her face, and now she's probably just never going to play that character again.
It's ridiculous. Really
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You've been cursed by Flash.
Also, what the fuck happened with Henry Cavill? Why isn't he Superman anymore?
Um, I'm not been following it, but from what I gather, a lot of people just
Did
started
they?
hating on him at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like he's no longer the
I know it
Witcher.
was
He's no
his
longer
choice to
Superman.
go with The Witcher. I know he didn't
Um,
like where the show was going.
yeah, I can imagine. I think he was kind of like that with Superman as well. To be
Mm.
honest, I kind of can picture that. I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a
he got
strange,
really
strange
fucked
thing.
over by just basically by DC or Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers.
Everybody did, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's the thing. Everybody did. Like it's so fucking crazy because I mean, like once again, we can sit there in our kind of like little kind of nerd bubble and talk about how like they're fucking up the actual plot line of the universe and stuff like that. But in terms of like, they've
yeah.
put so many people out of jobs because like they've just they've mismanaged the entire
And then
thing
there's that
so
Batgirl
badly.
film that was
Like
entirely made.
yeah, they threw away a whole movie. They threw
Mm,
away a whole movie.
I don't
Who does
fucking know.
that? Like,
It's been so badly handled. I'm hoping James Gunn can do something with these at least.
that's the thing. Anything would be better. Like I mean, like me and you could make a homemade Batman movie, and it would like probably be more
Yeah.
liked than anything they've done.
It's weird as well because their Elseworld stories
Once
tend to
again,
be pretty good. Like the Joker and the Batman were both pretty good movies.
that's what I was gonna say. Where the fuck does
Uh,
that leave those? If we're supposed to be hard resetting again, like what happened to this whole thing you were doing of like these weird kind of like
I think
party
the
style
last thing I
witchy
heard, they're
movies?
calling those stories Elseworld stories now, so that they're just completely unaffected by the actual universe that they're building.
But once again,
No, no, they don't, and
most
it's just
viewers
going to
don't
get
care.
really confusing at some point.
Like, yeah, most viewers don't care. Why can't they just have a
Yeah,
vision and stick to it? mean, Marvel did that. Yeah, all Marvel stuff's the exact same thing, but that's better than having the most
Yeah,
wildly
true.
inconsistent shit ever.
I don't fucking know anymore.
They have like it's so fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh, and one of the other last things I heard about this was that apparently, out of all the people that they are recasting, they are considering keeping Ezra Miller as the Flash. Exactly.
Why?
Like,
it's just no, like seriously. No, I'm not even talking about the fact that like, oh, he's a
he's
criminal.
also
and all
just
that.
not a
Like, yeah,
good
he's
actor.
a criminal,
He's a
but
terrible
he's not
actor.
that good.
And he
He's not
can't
good.
run, which is kind of essential for the Flash. Like,
Yeah,
the way
seriously.
he gets down when he goes to run, like, the way he gets into position is so awkward looking. Like, it's so terrible. And then,
Like, no, but the thing is, it's not like because there's multiple ways of looking at that, right? Because there's
no,
is he good in the role? No. Is he liked? Is
No.
he is he liked by the general public? No. Does he like? Is he a big star still? Does he like still draw in
if
any
anything,
kind of
he
money?
stops
No.
money from coming in.
Yeah. Like people actually did, kind of boycott the movie
For a good
I've
reason
seen it, I
as
see a
well.
little bit of that.
Genuine good reason. I only went to see it
Yeah.
because, fuck it, it's the Flash movie. I've been waiting long enough. And I was so thoroughly disappointed. No.
I cannot get over it.
Like-
Because
I don't know, because I'm saying, like, they're getting rid of Gal Gadot, I'm fairly certain. And I think she did a pretty good job as Wonder Woman, even though she's not, like, the greatest actor.
well,
yeah.
she's a shy actress,
Henry
but she looks
Cavill
like
was,
Wonder Woman.
like, near perfect for the role of Superman. He's gone. They never had a good Batman in this universe, so I don't really care about that. Cyborg, I think, was pretty well cast. Yeah, but there was a
Didn't
whole
really get up
fucking
to much,
drama
so-
behind the scenes with him as well. And then, I don't know, Aquaman was also pretty well cast. Kind of, I guess. Like, I don't know, I always see people, like, praising Zack Snyder's casting choices. 2 out of, like, 5 isn't really that good, I think.
Yeah. Especially considering, meanwhile, once again on the other team, a lot of people picture those actors, the Marvel actors, as that character now.
Chris
When you say
Hemsworth,
Thor, you
yeah.
picture Chris Hemsworth. You know what I mean? So you can't really
Oh.
complain about their work.
Did Gunn do the casting for Guardians? Okay, well then, I mean, he did a pretty good job with those.
Well, you gotta assume casting directors
Mm.
and directors would all be at the audition.
I suppose, yeah.
But
But anyways, I don't know. Because I think there's also 2 more films set for this universe to come out. But I don't see the point. I genuinely don't.
there isn't the point.
Yeah.
They should just take a break. There's 2. They're coming out
Yeah.
too quick. We need like a proper reset, like a few years off of
Well,
anything. And
It
then,
likely
once again we can start
it
where
likely will be a few years before we see that. The first of James Gunn's Superman movie coming out.
it's just yeah, I don't know, man.
No.
There's not much else
It's
we can
just,
really say.
it
It's just-
perfectly ends off this
we
fucking
need a break.
era of whatever the fuck DC has been doing. Because I can't think of one good film in this
Because
universe.
it's the because it is
Yeah.
this is the pinnacle of its stupidity, like.
Yeah, no, that's about it.
So that brings us to the end of the first episode of the new Zythrox podcast. Thank you all very much for listening. I will see you next time.